The Samsung Galaxy S23 will have some large shoes to fill when it debuts next year, given how well Samsung's prior top phones have fared. But we think Samsung is up to the task. Now, there is a lot of rumours about the new Galaxy S23's arrival in 2023, and how the phone is out of this world. Before we have a look at it, let's find out what we need to know. The design. The Galaxy S23 family of phones may look like the Galaxy S22 in terms of how they look. In particular, the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra could have a design that looks a lot like the one it replaced. A leaker named Ice Universe said that the phone will be 6.43 inches long, 3.07 inches wide, and 0.35 inches thick. When compared to the Galaxy S22 Ultra, which is 6.42 inches by 3.06 inches by 0.35 inches, this is a slight increase in size. Even though the new camera tip has been made, which has been thought to be one of the ways that could end up with a bigger camera module and a thicker phone as a whole. Ice Universe has looked into this more since the first rumour, and they think that the reason the phone is getting thicker is because Samsung could be making the bezels on the Galaxy S23 thicker. It's possible that this would be done to make the phone more durable, so this is something we want to keep an eye on as the phone's release date gets closer. Renders of the Galaxy S23 Ultra that have been leaked shows how the next flagship phone could look. We see a black phone that looks a lot like its predecessor. Ice Universe has stated that the final products may look different from these renders. For example, the metal rings around the cameras might be bigger and the display and sides might be flatter. It looks like we will have at least 4 choices when it comes to colour, and they look like beige, black, green and light pink, and they will be available in all 3 versions of the S23 family. So what are the similarities between the S22 and the S23? According to another leak from Ice Universe, the Samsung Galaxy S23 series will feel similar to the series that came before. This is likely to be true for all phones that Samsung releases at the beginning of 2023. The new versions are almost the same as the old ones in every way, from the size of the screens to the phone themselves. According to the rumours, the Galaxy S23 will have a 6.1-inch screen with a resolution of 1080 by 2340. The Galaxy S23 Plus will have a 6.6-inch screen with the same resolution, and the S23 Ultra will have a 6.8-inch screen with a resolution of 1440 by 3088. To give you an idea of what this means, this is exactly what the Galaxy S22, 22 Plus, and 22 Ultra all offer right now. One of the things that could be changed about the Ultra is that it could get heavier if more metal pieces were added. The S23 display. But Ice Universe did point out that the display was one of the only things that will be better on the Galaxy S23 Ultra than the S22 Ultra. Still, he didn't say how it would be done. Since he didn't say any more, we can safely assume that it won't be anything too special, like a new resolution or faster refresh rate. Instead, it could be something more simpler like better battery life or more brightness. A new feature could be added to the S23 display in the future. A Twitter leaker named RG Clouds says that the Galaxy S23 models could get a fingerprint reader that works a lot better. This is Qualcomm's newest fingerprint reader called the 3D Sonic Max. It has a footprint that is 17 times bigger than the in-display fingerprint readers used by Samsung right now. With this technology, it is possible to scan more than 1 fingerprint at a time. Now looking at the cameras. If you turn the Galaxy S23 and S23 Plus over, you will see that they look very different, but the phones may not have changed at all from the front. The new renders, which are based on leaks from OnLeaks, show that the phones have separate camera sensors that are implemented into them. This is similar to how the S22 Ultra looks. Also, cases made for all 3 versions of the Galaxy S23 were recently made public, which seems to back up these renders. Reports say that the Galaxy S23 Ultra's camera would have a resolution of 200 megapixels. This will be a big improvement over the Galaxy S22 Ultra's camera, which was only 108. In recent months, this camera rumour has been getting a lot of attention. However, a new leak suggests that Samsung may not choose to use the new ISOCELL HP3 sensor after all, but instead choose to use an older ISOCELL HP1 sensor. A more recent rumour, on the other hand, says that the Galaxy S23 Ultra will get a 200 megapixel camera in the form of a Samsung sensor that hasn't been made public yet. This could be good news for the next top-of-the-line phone from Samsung. Their HP3 sensor is considered to be in the middle of the range, while their HP1 sensor, which is bigger and more refined, is expected to make its debut on the Motorola X30 Pro or Motorola Edge 30 Ultra. It is possible that Samsung is working on another sensor for its next top-of-the-line phone to give it an edge over its competitors. The chipset and performance. If Samsung continues to operate in the same manner that it has done in the past, then Qualcomm's most recent silicon will be used to power the Galaxy S23. This is the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2, which was released in November by the company that makes the chips. Expect a more advanced AI engine and an image signal processor that adds a lot of interesting photography features on top of the performance and power improvements made over the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1 from the year before. Exynos CPUs were used in older Galaxy S phones that were sold in countries other than the US, but Qualcomm has shown signs that the Galaxy S23 series will be the only ones to get the Snapdragon chips from them. Even though this is true, rumours keep going around that Samsung is working on the new Exynos chip. After using the Exynos chipset in several previous Galaxy S models, it's easy to see why Samsung might want to look into how the chipset could be improved. And in general, Samsung flagships with an Exynos system on chip do not perform as well as those with a Snapdragon system on chip. But there is a rumour that Samsung 8 Generation 2 processors will be tweaked for the Galaxy S23. If this is true, it would give more weight to the idea of using a single chip in all regions, and it would possibly make Samsung's mobile devices run better. The battery life. Several reliable sources say that the Samsung's S23 Ultra's battery capacity will be the same as its predecessor, and this accounts to 5000 mAh. It's possible that the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 chip, which is said to be in the phone, will save it. This chip should make the device better at managing power, and it could be the phone's saving grace. Some people think that the base model of the Galaxy S23 will get a little more battery life. One report says that compared to the Galaxy S22, the battery life could improve by up to 5%. In the meantime, the S23 Plus could get a bigger battery altogether, going from 4500 mAh to 4700. And finally, the release date. Since the Galaxy S22 came out in February, we can probably assume that the S23 will come out around the same time. The S21 series came out in January 2021. However, Samsung needed to make room for the Galaxy S21 FE, so the S22 might have not come out till later. Samsung isn't thought to be making a Galaxy S22 FE at the moment, so it is possible that it won't change how the S23 will be sold. A battery for a phone that matched the description of the Galaxy S23 Plus showed up for certification with a South Korean agency in the beginning of September. Since the time frame is identical to that of the S22 rollout, it would appear that a launch in February 2023 is still on schedule. So, thank you very much for watching. What are your expectations for the seemingly out-of-this-world Samsung Galaxy S23? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell to get more updates like this one. And as always, thank you very much for watching.